Dear friends, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rahul Sharma and I will be presenting before you the 24th module titled Advertising Decisions under the paper of Tourism and Hospitality Marketing. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the concept of advertising management, compare and contrast various forms of media including print, broadcast, direct mail and other support media, and describe the major decisions in advertising. Introduction. The word advertise is derived from a Latin word advertere, which means to turn one's attention towards something. It is also linked to a French word advertir, which means to take notice of something. Advertise means to describe, promote, publicize, or present a product, service, idea, or event in the media in order to increase sales. Advertising is one of the powerful means used by business firms, non-profit organizations, and individuals to disseminate the product or service information. The prime focus of advertising is not only to enhance the business profitability but also to provide information about products or services to prospective buyers. Now let us discuss about the concept of advertising. Professor Philip Kotler defined advertising as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods or services by an identified sponsor. William J. Stanton said that advertising consists of all the activities involved in presenting to a group a non-personal, oral or visual, openly sponsored message regarding disseminated through one or more media and is paid by an identified sponsor. John E. Kennedy defined advertising as salesmanship in print. In today's world, advertisers use every possible media to induce people to buy or use their products or services. The different mediums of advertisements include print, that is newspapers, magazines or journals, etc. Broadcast, that is radio or television. Internet, direct selling, hoardings, emails, brochures and catalogs or posters, etc. Let us now talk about the components of advertising. Advertising can be broadly broken down into four components. Number one, paid form. Advertising is paid for and controlled by the individual or group that is the sponsor. Because someone is paying for the space, newspapers or outdoor or time in radio or television, this individual or group has complete control over what is said, printed or shown. Any promotion that is not paid for is called publicity. Because the individual or group is not paying for the time or space, those involved do not have complete control and are at the mercy of the writer or producer. A common form of publicity is a review of a restaurant in a dining or food section of a local newspaper. Publicity can obviously be either favorable or unfavorable. Number two, non-personal. Advertising is done through the mass media without personal contact or interaction between the seller and the potential buyer. Advertising relies strictly on non-personal promotion of goods, services, or ideas. Number 3. Promotion related to ideas, goods, or services. Advertising need not be restricted to the promotion of a tangible, physical product or good. It may try to influence individuals to change their way of thinking or their behavior. Number 4. Identified sponsor. All advertising has an identified sponsor. An identified sponsor means whosoever is putting out the ads tells the audience who they are. There are two reasons for the same. It's a legal requirement and it makes a good sense. Moving on to next subsection, let us discuss about what can advertising do. First, advertising presents information to the consumer about new products, new services, new decor, and other items of interest. Secondly, they reinforce consumer behavior by communicating with individuals who have patronized a particular hotel or restaurant in the past, exposing these consumers to a continuous flow of advertising is likely to induce repeat patronage by reinforcing their positive experiences. Brand loyalty is very difficult to establish, but advertising is one method to use in this effort. Third, advertising induces first time patronage. When consumers are exposed to a continual flow of advertising, their curiosity is aroused and this often results in patronage. If a first time guest is rewarded with a pleasant experience, the foundation for repeat patronage has been successfully established. Fourth, advertising enhances the image of hospitality and tourism operations. Advertising does not always seek to promote a specific product or service, it can instead seek to create and reinforce an image for the consuming public. Advertising is necessarily a vital part of the marketing program of the types of hospitality and tourism operations. Now, let us discuss about what goals should advertising accomplish. Generally speaking, advertising should set out to accomplish three goals. Number 1, to create awareness in the minds of consumers. Number 2, to build positive value in the minds of consumers. And number 3, to promote repeat patronage and brand loyalty among consumers. Awareness must be created among consumers who have not heard of a particular hotel or restaurant establishment. This awareness should create sufficient interest so that patronage results. Next, to induce both first time and repeat patronage, a positive perceived value must be established and reinforced in the minds of consumers. All consumers have limited resources for chasing after unlimited wants. Hence, only products and services that offer a high level of perceived value will be rewarded with patronage. A hospitality operation might have the very finest to offer in rooms, food and service in a given market segment. But if it has a low perceived value, the number of consumers served is likely to be small. Finally, advertising should strive to promote brand loyalty and repeat patronage among the highest possible percentage of consumers. Very few hospitality and tourism operations can survive only on one-time patronage. Repeat business must be encouraged and promoted. Even better than repeat patronage is brand loyalty, wherein consumers begin to prefer one brand of hotel or restaurant over and above the direct competition. However, the current competitiveness in the marketplace makes it very difficult to create brand loyalty. Let us now talk about advertising decisions. This part of advertising decisions consists of 5 M's of advertising. Advertising decisions and the keys to successful advertising. Let us start with the 5 M's of advertising. Organizations manage their advertising in different ways. In small companies, owners or general managers or someone in sales or marketing department handles the company's advertising. Large companies commonly set up their own advertising departments or use an outside advertising agency. While developing the advertising program, the marketing managers have to make some important decisions. The decision making process in advertising consists of the 5 M's. Number 1 is mission. What is the purpose or key objective of advertising? Number 2 is money. How much should the company spend? Number 3 is message. What message can be delivered? How to deliver the message? Number 4 is media. What media vehicles are available and what media vehicles should be selected? Number 5 is measurement. How should the results be evaluated and how to judge the effectiveness of advertising? Next, let us move to advertising decisions. Whenever an advertising program is prepared, the marketing management should take into account the 5 advertising decisions. These decisions are: number 1, setting the objectives. An advertising objective is a specific communication task to be accomplished with a specific target audience during a specific period of time. Advertising objectives can be classified by purpose, whether their aim is to inform, persuade, or remind. Number 2, setting the advertising budget. After determining its advertising objectives, a company can next set its advertising budget for each product. The role of advertising is to affect demand for a product. The company may want to spend the amount needed to achieve the sales goal. Advertising expenses should be carefully planned, monitored, and controlled. Compared with major expense items, advertising may not seem like a large percentage. However, management must carefully establish the advertising budget to maximize the productivity of the money spent. Return on investment, that is ROI, is the key. What has been the return for the money invested in advertising? Some managers advertise more when business volume is slow, thereby hoping to increase volume. Others attempt to reduce expenses by cutting back on advertisement when a decline in sales volume occurs. Both approaches are subject to error because they are based on intuition rather than on a rational decision making and budgeting process. Advertising budget serve several useful and important functions. 1. To provide a detailed projection of future expenditure. 2. To provide both short and long range planning guides for management. And 3. To provide a method for monitoring and controlling advertising expenses by comparing actual expenses against projections. Moving on to next subsection, let us discuss about the development of advertising strategy. Stage 1. Creating the advertising message or developing a central advertising appeal is not an easy process. Considerable time and thought must be devoted to the creative process before a viable appeal is developed. Several rules of thumb exist for the development of this appeal. A central appeal must offer some value to the consumer. If the central appeal does not speak directly to the needs of the primary target market, the chances for success are greatly reduced. A well-developed marketing information system should provide specific data about the marketplace, enabling management to be in tune with the values of consumers. The appeal must be distinctive. All advertising must compete not only with all other hospitality and tourism organizations but with advertising for everything from automobiles to washing machines. For the advertising to be effective, the appeal must offer something that separates it from everything else. Distinctive and useful appeals are needed. The appeal must be believable. Claims made for the product service mix must be backed if the appeal is to have credibility, because some consumers are more skeptical than others. The appeal should be believable to those who might at first have doubts. The appeal should be simple. Consumers are confronted each day with hundreds of advertising stimuli, and if one is to be recalled, it must be simple and straightforward. Effective and simple appeals that have been used successfully include: we do it all for you. You are the one. It's a good time for the great taste. McDonald's. And having it your way. Broiling beats trying Burger King. Stage 2. Choosing among major media. While selecting the media mix, it is important to examine the journal nature of the target market segments. A medium should be selected based on its ability to reach the maximum number of potential consumers at the lowest cost. However, it is also necessary to minimize wasted coverage while trying to maximize reach. Wasted coverage refers to advertising exposure that do not involve members of the target market. For example, if low income households are exposed to ads for an expensive restaurant, the restaurant is wasting money because it is paying to reach consumers who are not in its target market and would be unlikely to dine at the restaurant. Stage 3. Evaluating advertising effectiveness and the return on advertising investment. Large hospitality organizations engaged in national and regional campaigns normally have the resources to evaluate advertising effectively. Smaller advertisers and local advertisers often are not able to evaluate advertising effectiveness. Advertising effectiveness can be measured for both short and long term impact. Short term measurements are usually given most attention because they directly reflect the income statement and the financial position of the organization. In addition, managers' tenure and bonuses are normally based on short term performance. The long term effects of advertising, however, should not be overlooked. Repeat patronage, brand loyalty, and an asset called goodwill reflects long term effects. A brief review of commonly used techniques for measuring advertisement effectiveness are: number 1, copy testing. The process of copy testing involves pre-testing the copy of an advertisement prior to running it in the media. Several advertisements are normally shown to a group of consumers and questions are asked of the group, typically which advertisement would interest you the most? Which advertisement is most convincing? And which advertisement is most likely to cause you to patronize the hospitality establishment? These questions can be asked of an entire group assembled for a review of a series of advertisements, or personal interviews can be conducted. Number 2, inquiry and sales. Direct mail advertising lends itself to the inquiry and sales method. This involves keeping a tally of each inquiry and sale. For example, if a series of advertisements was run to promote banquet business, how many people telephoned or contacted the operation? How many of these inquiries were converted into sales? From these tallies, it is easy to compute a cost per inquiry and a cost per sale for this type of advertising. Number 3, coupons and split runs. Coupons can be tallied to evaluate the effectiveness of one promotion against others. For example, did the Sunday special sell more than French fries promotions? Coupons are used extensively by the hospitality and tourism industry because they allow for easy evaluation. Coupons can be carried one step further and used to compare one medium against another. For example, suppose that management had a choice among 3 print media in which to place advertisements. Which one will reach the target market most effectively? The same advertisements and coupons could be run in the 3 media, with each coupon coded so that a tally could be made of the number of coupons from media A, B and C. In this way, a relative ranking of effectiveness is possible. Number 4, sales test. The level of gross sales or sales of specific items can be monitored following a specific period of advertising aimed at increasing one or the other. It is often difficult to take into account all the variables that affect sales both positively and negatively, and thereby establish a cause and effect relationship. Number 5, consumer testing of awareness, recall and attitude. Through assembled groups, telephone surveys, direct mail surveys and personal interviews, consumers can be tested to determine their relative awareness concerning a specific hospitality operation. Have they heard of the operation? Do they patronize it? If so, how frequently do they visit? Do they recall seeing any advertisements? Which ones do they recall? When shown certain advertisements, do they recall seeing these? This is known as aided recall. Moving on to next section, let us now talk about keys to a successful advertising. To be successful, advertising needs to be approached in a systematic manner. The following are different suggestions on how to improve advertising efficiency. Number 1, time. Advertising should not be considered a necessary evil. Sales and operations are equally important and require time for an advertising program to generate satisfactory results. In order to be effective, advertising must normally be repeated. Frequent exposure to targeted markets will increase the impact of advertising. Number 2, budgets. Budgets should be developed for the need of each operation. It makes little sense to base an advertising budget on figures and percentages that represents the national average. Generally, a manager must have the courage to spend enough to produce successful results. Number 3, study. A manager needs to analyze the operation and determine the operation's advantages as compared with those of the competition. Disadvantages also needs to be identified so that they can be minimized or eliminated completely. The evaluation must be done constantly so that any changes in the competitive situation are noted and adjustments are made quickly. Number 4, analysis of market segments. Each year, many people change jobs and move, and as they do, their lifestyle changes too. No market segment is constant, they are always changing. For this reason, management must know the patterns of the hospitality operations. By doing this, management can modify the operations to meet changing consumer demands. Number 5, media. Media must be selected very carefully to be effective. Media used must match the intended target markets. Each type of medium offers advantages and drawbacks. Number 6, formation of a plan. Advertising cannot be successful if it is approached in a haphazard manner. It is important that continuity be established among all forms of advertising so that it gains momentum. Continuity can be established through the consistent use of logos, distinctive type, styles, music, or creative touches to make the advertising stand out from other advertisements. Managers should not be afraid of advertising and should draw up plans designed to produce results. Nothing is worse than spending too little money or advertising, so advertising expenditures should not be cut. To be successful, advertising must be used regularly, not intermittently. Successful advertising is based on repetition. In the end, let us summarize the complete discussion. Advertising is a paid form of communication that is used to establish a basic awareness of the product or service in the mind of potential customers and to build up knowledge about it. Hospitality and tourism firms engage in a good deal of advertising. In fact, these firms are often at the forefront in terms of creativity and spending. As the marketing environment in which hospitality and tourism organizations operate becomes more competitive, the importance of advertising increases. Generally, advertising seeks to satisfy three goals. 1. To establish awareness in the minds of consumers. 2. To establish a positive perceived value in the minds of consumers. And 3. To promote repeat patronage and brand loyalty among consumers. To reach the highest level of success, management must engage in various advertising efforts. The major advertising decisions include setting objectives and budget, creating the advertising message, selecting advertising media, choosing media types, vehicles and timings, evaluating advertisements. Thank you.